Some people grow up only in age, not in brains. Age doesn't equal maturity. They look like adults with adult responsibilities, but have the emotional control of a child. And if you're close to one, they won't attack you openly. They'll quietly drain your energy, your patience, and your peace. At first, they don't seem dangerous. They claim to be emotional and sensitive. You excuse their behavior because they've been through things. You tell yourself they'll grow out of it. But over time, you start noticing the pattern. Every small issue becomes a crisis. Every disagreement turns into drama. Every conversation somehow revolves around how they feel in the moment. And slowly, you're the one doing the calming, the fixing, the explaining. You're walking on eggshells while they stay exactly the same. The whole time, you're not the source of the problem. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the signs of an emotionally immature adult instantly before they drain years of your life. Welcome to Stoic Clarity. Let's begin. Number 1. They overreact to small problems. There's an old saying, small problems reveal big character. With emotionally immature people, the smallest inconvenience feels like a crisis. A delayed reply, a harmless mistake, a change of plans, suddenly the mood shifts. Voices rise and silence follows, or they shut down completely. Watch how they react when things don't go their way. Minor issues turn into emotional storms because they lack internal control. Instead of solving the problem, they become the problem. You'll notice a pattern. You start walking on eggshells. You hesitate before speaking. You apologize just to keep the peace. And, slowly, you adjust your behavior, not because you're wrong, but because you're tired. That's the danger. When someone can't regulate small emotions, they will eventually make your life revolve around managing them. And that's not partnership. That's emotional babysitting. 2. They take everything personally. Not everything is about you, but to an emotionally immature person, it always is. A neutral comment feels like an attack. A suggestion feels like disrespect. Even silence feels intentional. The key is to notice how quickly conversations turn defensive. You weren't criticizing them, but suddenly you're apologizing. You are constantly apologizing for wrongs you never did. Here's a common scenario. You say, maybe we should plan better next time. And they take it as an insult, thinking you're calling them incompetent. And instead of discussing the idea, the focus shifts to their feelings. The original point disappears. Over time, this trains you to self-censor. You soften your words. You swallow feedback. You choose peace over honesty. But truth matters. Healthy people can hear feedback without collapsing. Emotionally immature people turn every discussion into a personal wound and make growth impossible. The third point is that they lack accountability. There's a reason people say a man is defined by what he owns. Emotionally immature people own nothing, especially their mistakes. Nothing is ever their fault. It's always stress, bad timing, or someone else's behavior. The past, the weather, anything but them. Listen closely. Excuses appear faster than reflection. They apologize vaguely, if at all. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not what I meant. Responsibility is always deflected. You might even catch yourself becoming the problem solver for their messes, cleaning up emotional damage, explaining their behavior to others, making peace on their behalf. That's how imbalance forms. One person grows, the other stays stuck. Accountability is the foundation of maturity. Without it, there's no learning, only repetition. And you'll relive the same conflict again and again and again. 4. They can't handle disagreement. There's old wisdom that says strong minds discuss ideas, weak minds fight over opinions. With emotionally immature people, disagreement isn't dialogue, it's danger. Watch what happens when you don't agree immediately. They argue, raise their voice, withdraw emotionally, or punish you with silence. Instead of curiosity, they seek dominance. Instead of understanding, they seek control. The goal isn't resolution, it's emotional victory. Here's the subtle cost. You stop sharing your real thoughts. You nod along. You agree just to avoid tension. And slowly, your voice gets quieter. Disagreement is healthy. It sharpens thinking. It builds respect. But emotionally immature people see disagreement as rejection, and rejection feels like death to them. So they shut it down. And any relationship where honest disagreement isn't allowed will slowly suffocate you. The fifth point is, they use emotions to control situations. People often say, watch what people do when they don't get their way. This is where emotional immaturity turns manipulative. Crying, anger, guilt, silent treatment, sudden sadness. These emotions don't just happen, but they appear right when control is slipping. Notice the timing, not the emotion. Whenever you set a boundary or stand firm, the emotional response escalates. And you start adjusting, you give in, you explain more, you backtrack. Not because you're wrong, but because the emotional pressure is exhausting. That's the trap. Their feelings become the steering wheel of the relationship. Healthy people feel emotions, but don't weaponize them. Emotionally immature people learn that emotions get results, and they repeat what works. Until one day, you realize you're no longer choosing freely. You're reacting. Last but not the least, they expect others to regulate their feelings. There's a saying, you're not responsible for emotions you didn't create, but emotionally immature people expect you to carry theirs anyway. They rely on you to calm them, reassure them, fix their mood, absorb their frustration. And when you don't, you're cold, selfish, or uncaring. Notice who feels lighter after emotional moments, you or them, because after every outburst they feel relieved and you feel drained. This is where everything connects: overreactions, personalization, avoiding accountability, emotional control. It all leads here. You become the regulator of their inner world. But here's the clarity: you can care without carrying. You can support without sacrificing yourself. If this video helped you see more clearly, like it, comment your experience, and subscribe to Stoic Clarity. Protect your energy, protect your mind, and I'll see you in the next one.